So you're all excited, you've got your new home and now it's cost you $50,000. Oh, I'll be right back and I'll tell you why. Hey Halifax, Brenda K here with the Halifax Home Selling Group, and of course this is the sweet Miss Frankie. I'm going to talk about waiving conditions. I'm coming from the realtor advice view, but a lot of our clients, I talked about this in a previous video, we do have to follow their lawful instructions. So we explain what they are, why they're important, but it is their choice. And we have the forms, the waivers, and everything. So I want to talk today about the cost, but I also want to talk about the financing. So if you waive financing, but you still need financing, that's okay. Just make sure that you are so confident in your financial world, is what I'm trying to say, that you know it will go through. So, and you know, they actually send them to the underwriters in the bank. So, I mean, they're looking at a deal that has no finance clause on it. But yes, you can still put it through. So that's the finance point of view, because if something goes wrong and you've waived it, and any little glitch in your credit could cost you. So make sure if you're going to do that, you really have the bank on side, that you don't have any problems with that. The one little hiccup you could have is if you've waived finance, is that if the bank does an appraisal of the property and it doesn't appraise out, and that again would be come out of your pocket. So that means that when say the purchase price is $550,000, the bank sends an appraiser out, and the appraiser goes, yeah, you know what, that's worth $450,000. And they are the experts when it comes to that. They know what they're doing. And then of course the buyer's always going to say, oh wait, right? But in this case, you have no finance clause. You can't go, oh wait. Right? So you're going to pony up more money out of your pocket. Could be $5,000, could be $50,000. Here's the big one, is the large ticket items. So let's talk about septic. A lot of people live on septic here in the rural, like even some of the suburbs. Doesn't have to be that rural. I'm only 20 minutes from Dartmouth and I'm on a rural property. So on a rural property, you're going to have a septic field. And you're going to have a well. So let's talk about the septic field first. The septic field inspection, what they're going to do is they're going to go in from the tank or from your house, and they're going to put a camera down there and make sure that it's not dipped and there's no debris in it. Here's the big one. They're then going to take their camera and they're going to go out to the field. So what they're looking for is anything obstructing the pipe going out, or anything on the pipe that is broken or cracked. And also near the end of the field, if it's wet or it's kind of soggy, you know that your field is not holding on, it's draining out through the ground. And when they do that test, they actually take a hose, and I know you've never seen one done yet, but they take a hose and they actually put water into it. Yeah, if the water comes back, you don't want that house. Unless it has a new septic. Yeah, then you want that house. On home inspection, there are things that the inspector is going to look at. My English, isn't that terrible? That's terrible English. Going to look at. So you have your heating systems, and you have your appliances, you have your attic, your insulation. Your big one is the foundation. I literally, depending on location, and you see me do it, I like when I go down the basement, I'm on my knees with my flashlight, because I'm looking for any water stains. So the potential cost of that, and I'm going to go through all the costs at the end to show you how much it might cost you. The other thing that you're going to do on a rural property, you're going to do a well flow and a well quality taste, a water quality taste. Now the water quality taste, it has to be potable water. So, and you need to show that to the bank. That's pretty easy. You know, I use a company because I don't like to take any chances of contaminating things. So they're going to check for arsenic, E. coli, and bacteria. I recommend all the metals. So you know if you've got iron, manganese, and what the bank is concerned about are those three: E. coli, bacteria. Well, really just bacteria, but it comes with arsenic too. So if they see arsenic's bad, they want that fixed. The well flow test, they drain the well, like, I honestly don't know how much they drain. It takes a long time, like you're like 2 hours there with them. And they watch the water go back in and they monitor it. And that tells us, do you have enough water to feed or to service a family of 4? So that's there's the gallon per minute test, and then there's the recovery rate, right? I got lucky, I actually didn't do one at my house, and I can wash the car, I can do the dishes, I can have a washer going, I have somebody in the shower. I just have so much water. I really, really lucked out. So obviously I didn't follow my own advice, did I, on that? If you're living in the city, you can have a sewer lateral line scope. Back in the day, the city used what they call the non-corrode pipe, and it corroded. And here's the thing, it's something that the city used on your home. You're responsible for the repair. So they used to dig them all up, which is about $5,000. Now they do stints, it's just like a heart, if they can. But those prices are going up too. You know, if there's just like, say, a few roots and it's not cracked, they can do a really high pressure flush out into the city system. But yes, you're responsible for your house to what they call the standpipe. So let's do the math. You've got some inspection issues there, and I wrote these down, and they could be major. They could be worth like $10,000. Your septic could be $15,000. If your well doesn't produce the water you need, you know, you could be looking at $12,000 for a new well. You could be looking at about $5,000 to frack the well. Radon gas, which is one I actually forgot to mention, that is huge right now. Radon gas causes lung cancer. So you do that now. That is about between $1,500 and $2,000. You know, it's not too bad. But are you going to do the tests? Because you've waived inspections, right? So are you going to think when I go home, when I move into my new house, I should test for radon? Really, really? Yeah, you're right. Most people don't. I don't do that. Go to the Nova Scotia. There's a radon map that the government of Nova Scotia has out there, and it tells you whether you're low, medium, or high risk. And if you're in the medium, high, or, I mean, I recommend you do it no matter what, because it's very, very serious. You've waived the financing, waived the inspection, so it's not, you can't get it done. When you move in, go to the Lung Association of Nova Scotia, do the proper 90-day test. If it's higher than 200 becquerels per cubic meter, you need a system. And like I said, that system runs about $1,500 to $2,000 and the well. So there's your $50,000. We had one that came in on no conditions, and we literally couldn't find the septic. I know, that was real. We did find it, we did. But normally, when you're conditional, you have to mark, like the owner of the house has to dig it up, and then you have to mark it, and so on and so forth. So I have seen a few houses where they were adamant. They did want to go with condition free, and one was not too bad. One is having significant problems with the house. So my advice to my clients is don't waive the inspections, right? So, and everybody's paying over it. So you pay maybe $100,000 over, and then wham, you get hit with something else when they find out what's not right. So that's my thoughts on waiving inspections. If you enjoy my videos and you find them informative, please hit subscribe and share with friends and family. I am Brenda K with the Halifax Home Selling Group, and this one here, I have to turn her around because her face is so cute. And this is the sweet Miss Frankie. We'll see you next week. Cheers.